anakuja kuiba nini kura.
With our mutual friend, yes, yes. So he talked to you.
Commissioner, thank you, Prof. Commissioner, a quick question. Yes. Before the DP party took it upon there were IEBC officials there, including a presiding officer, who, according to the IEBC, have been trained on what should be done and what should not be done.
Yes.
Is this, what do you say? You are the commissioner of IEBC.
No.
This was happening at your polling station.
No, that is very good. What you have said is correct. That is the law. The law is that you should not wear party colors here. So we are going to follow that up, just find out. I've just arrived in, and I was keen to find out why there was a crowd there. And Mheshimiwa has just briefed me on what's happening. So we are going to follow this up to find out.
My question is not about you in particular as a commissioner.
No. Yeah, I know it is.
Trained officers, because you cannot be in all the ones.
Yeah, that is correct.
But you have presiding officers.
That is correct.
Who did not take action.
Yes, and that is what I'm trying to say. Is I'm going to find out what exactly happened with them so that we can be able to know what to do. They have been properly trained, they're expected to do the right thing, and I've been in a number of polling stations and polling centers this morning, and we have not encountered this kind of thing. So
the action that is expected to be
no, I cannot say that in advance, because we ourselves have to understand what exactly happened. I think you are trying to you are trying to preempt something.
But are you agreeing with the DP party that it was wrong for anyone?
It is not a question of no. It is not a question of DP party. It is not a question of DP party. I take it that Mheshimiwa has reported this as a Kenyan, not as DP. If it is wrong, it is wrong. If it is right, it is right. I don't think it is a DP issue. So thank you very much. So JB Muturi, we are relying on you to help us deliver this as a clean vote. Yeah? Thank you, sir. Good.
We are still traversing the constituency of Malava, one of the counties that, of course, this morning they are holding their by-elections. Right now we are in Chimuche Ward at Mutingongo Primary School, not very far from the main tallying center at Malava Boys High School. So from what we have observed so far, the numbers are fairly low, but nevertheless, the Kenyans were still coming to cast their ballot to elect the next member of parliament in Malava constituency. And it's fair to mention that it is characteristic of by-elections to have these kind of numbers. But from other areas that we were in the morning, the numbers were fairly, better, so to speak. But this place, the numbers are still building as time goes by, and they are hoping that before the time elapses, that will be at 5 p.m. when IEBC will be closing its polling stations, those will have to cast their votes, will have casted. Just allow me to have an interaction with one of the contestants in Malava constituency. Honorable Wilberforce Tuvei, of course, is vying on Kenya Moja party. He just cast his vote a few minutes ago, and we would wish to get his assessment or what he makes of the process so far since morning. Thank you very much for making this time for K24. Mheshimiwa, just give us your assessment of how you viewed the process. We understand that you've been in other places. Just give us your take on how the process is going so far, so good.
Thank you very much, Eric. I think the process so far so good. Malava people have come out in their numbers to come out and vote. In other places we have huge numbers. In this polling station where I vote, I think it's quite slow, but I think people are still building up and coming to vote. But what I have to say is I've witnessed massive bribery by provincial administration. The assistant chiefs and chiefs are being used in a polling station like Maira and Shamberere, where they are openly bribing voters to go and vote for the perceived candidate of the government, David Ndakwa. And I think this election with that level of malpractice is not free and fair. But we wait and see. We still urge our people to come out and vote and exercise their democratic right, not to be coerced or bribed to vote for a particular candidate, but to exercise their democratic right and vote for the right candidate.
We have had cases, of course, on social media. Social media is awash with, complaints about violence in some places. I don't know if you've happened to be a victim of this said violence in some places. And if there is any sort of violence, what exactly could be happening? What is the problem? Who's orchestrating all these mayhem, and to what end?
I've also been privy to what is on the media, because I've heard there are people who have been ferried in Malava who were not even residents of Malava to cause mayhem, havoc, and beat up people for a reason that I don't understand. This is supposed to be a democratic process where people are allowed to come out and vote. But I hear just this afternoon that there has been chaos in Manyonja, one of the polling stations in Malava. Yesterday as night, there are people who were hacked in Webuye around Downhill. And I think these are very unfortunate, and I have to condemn it in the highest order, that in this era, people should be able to exercise their democratic right without being intimidated, coerced, or being even beaten as a sign to push them to vote for someone who they don't like. So I think for me, I just want to condemn this act. It's a barbaric act, actually, and I want to highly condemn it. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa, for your time, and we wish you all the best. Mumbi, those were sentiments from one of the candidates in Malava constituency, Honorable Tuvei, giving us his view. And of course, he has raised a very pertinent issue where he says that some polling stations have actually observed certain individuals making allegations against government officers trying to bribe voters to influence how they're going to cast their ballots this day or this morning. We continue to observe events across the constituency. It's a high-stake by-election in Malava, and of course these camps are going. Each camp is going after the other, just to make sure that at the end of the day they can win. But of course IEBC will be here to tell us exactly, or will be eventual member of parliament for Malava, at least for the next 1.5 years. At this point in time, allow me to take you over to my colleague in Mbeere North to just give us up to date what's exactly happening in the Embu County.
Thank you so much, Simon. Indeed, we are coming back here in studio, here on Kamembe TV as well as on K24. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Mumbi Chege. I'll be taking it up from here from Brian Amoy, just giving you live updates from various regions where the by-elections are taking place. It's now 4 hours since the by-elections started at 6 a.m. this morning. Remember, there are six areas or six member of parliament seats that are being contested for, 15 wards, as well as one senatorial seat that is up for grabs in Baringo County. And of course, we'll keep talking to our correspondents, our reporters in various regions where this contest or this elections are taking place. Just to give you an update on some of the places, the constituencies that are taking place or the elections are taking place, they include Mbeere North. Of course, we have Malava, we have Magarini, we also have Kasipul, Banisa and Ugunja, but of course we are taking a keen look at Mbeere North, Malava, Magarini, and of course Kasipul, where it is highly contested. In studio with me to continue just seeing what's going on, we did see an altercation earlier in Mbeere North, where the former Attorney General and the party leader, of course, for DP had an altercation with Chinga MCA. He was wearing party clothes, UDA party clothes. There was an altercation there, and our reporter there will be keeping us updated on everything that will be taking place there. And of course, in other regions, we are here to keep you updated. And this has been termed as a litmus test for the IEBC ahead of 2027 general elections. But here with me in studio, we have Kadhi Irungu, who is a political leader. Thank you, Kadhi, for being here. We also have Kevin Osido, who is the Executive Director, County, and also at County Governance Watch. Thank you so much, Osido, for being here. We also have Member of Parliament for Kibra, Peter Orero. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for being here and taking part in this very important discussion. Let's start with you, Kadhi, the lady. How significant is this by-election, given that we have, I think, 2 years before the general elections?
So thank you very much, Mombi. So number one, this is significant because of, we're just looking at a very short period to the upcoming general election. That's number one. And therefore, the outcome of these by-elections, in various areas, can easily tilt, the national politics and all the dynamics that are in play or that are at play. So the second one is, of course, the fact that it has been a heated period. Politically speaking, we've been on a very high note politically, especially in the Mount Kenya regions and many other regions in the country. There was some unrest in 2024 that were led by the Gen Zs. Then there was a repeat of the same this year, and therefore it is very important for us to observe keenly to see whether these will have an impact, when it comes to the by-elections that are happening today. There have been murmurs, a lot of dissatisfaction when you listen to the people, and the people seem to tell us, especially the ones who voted for the Kenya Kwanza government, they seem to say that a lot of their expectations have not been met. So, it is interesting to observe. It will be interesting to observe, how this plays out. Will it affect the outcome, of what is happening on the ground right now? But I think for me, most importantly, is just to note that for the first time, I think this looks like a mini general election. It has elicited a lot of excitement across the nation, and you can feel it. You can actually feel the excitement. Right. Everybody is talking about by-elections. We have had by-elections before, but one of the reasons is because we took time. Constituting the IEBC, there was a lot of politics around that issue, and so many areas, all the 22 areas that we are looking at, some stayed for more than a year, almost 2 years without members of parliament, without MCAs. So it is exciting, for the common mwananchi. But the violence that is happening in most of the places that I have observed, it is unfortunate to say the least. Yeah.
Mr. Osido, of course, now looking at IEBC, and of course it's been under scrutiny. We've seen what's going on in Mbeere, we've seen what's going on in Malava, and I mean, this is what I called a litmus test for IEBC. What do you make of all this? Do they have time to redeem themselves? Of course, right now what's going on is the voting process. Yeah. We're yet to get to the tallying and all that. Does it need to kind of, have a meeting and say we have to do things right, otherwise it's not going to look good in 2027?
Thank you so much, Mumbi. Of course, this is like a litmus test to the electoral management body, IEBC, and they have to do everything possible to not only redeem themselves insofar as the past experiences of Kenyans, and particularly the other IEBC commissions are concerned, the kind of practices that we have seen in the past, the inability to even respond to some critical questions that the voters and particularly Kenyans are asking. But much more fundamentally, it is a test that is also going to check on their credibility. insofar as public trust and confidence is concerned. And bordering on the question that you are asking, we also note the experiences that have been raised and some of the questions, that were raised during the formative stages of putting together this particular commission. That in fact, issues around credibility, issues around their ability to be independent, as is the name in the Constitution and the expectation of Kenyans. So I am aware that the Commission has also had a lot of meetings to do their intra and also extra engagements, so looking at their own induction processes as a commission, between commissioners and the Secretariat, the opportunities that they have also had to engage with other stakeholders like political parties, the security infrastructure, the civil society like ourselves, and even the donor community and those who also have interest in the election, therefore bringing in different support mechanisms, financial support, technical support, and various experiences. Remember therefore that Kenyans expect that IEBC is going to do something unique or something peculiar. Unfortunately, Mumbi, we are not seeing that peculiarity. And I was hoping that, for example, the Kasipul summons would have given the IEBC an opportunity to really show Kenyans that we are in charge and that we have arrived this town and we note the context of play and at play within our politics, and that for candidates who are going to use violence, we are going to stop you.
Right.
But you charge a member of parliament and a candidate $1 million shillings. $1 million is a drop in the ocean for anyone running for office, and Mheshimiwa Orero here will tell you. It's something you come and you say, in fact, I'm sure they were like, when are you going to finish this meeting? We want to go and campaign. Because in this country, we don't have to lose even a single life. Blood must not be shed for anyone to be an MP, anyone to be in any political seat. So IEBC has a lot to do in terms of engaging with the security infrastructure. I have been seeing Dr. Raymond Omolo speaking very boldly about some of the steps that they have put in place and the amount of support that they are giving to IEBC. The Commission must really work hard to be able to prove to Kenyans that yes, we are able to determine that independence of the Commission. And that also goes further, even to engaging with political parties. And I am really surprised. We've been seeing one of the conversations here around people, breaking rule, Regulation 72 of the Electoral, of the Elections Code of Conduct. It is not possible that you look at that and you just swallow it. We expect that IEBC really needs to, come up with very strong and stringent measures so that as we head towards 2027, God willing, then we are able to rebuild that public trust, rebuild that public confidence. And that is why, for example, in some of these stations, you look at the voter turnout, even as early as now, it is not, it is not encouraging.
Still quite low.
Because people are like, tunajua, hiyo kura washapea so and so, tunajua huyu haezi fanya anything. Is largely because of that lack of confidence and trust.
All right, Mheshimiwa, you are a member of ODM party, and just seeing what's going on, I know you're keenly looking at and observing the contest at Kasipul, but do you have faith in IEBC? I mean, some analysts and some critics have said that IEBC is all talk, no action, given what we're seeing, for instance, at Mbeere, and also some people breaking the rules in accordance with the Constitution. Do you have faith in IEBC?
Of course, faith is not measurable. So
how much faith do you have in IEBC?
So we can only talk of the ability maybe to conduct elections at this moment of political crisis within this country. And for a long time, with the last 3 years, the IEBC was not constituted. That brought a lot of uncertainty in terms of conducting electoral process. And the way it is constituted, IEBC must depend on the executive. They do not have the powers to summon maybe other organs like the police. They must rely on the police to conduct this election. Yesterday I was watching Murkomen trying to convince Kenyans that they have deployed a big number of officers to ensure that there is no interference with the election. You see, in a democratic process, we do not need that kind of state machinery to ensure that there's, the election process is exercised in utmost respect. We need, as Kenyans, to embrace the democratic space that we have created within this country. We do not need to be a military state. We do not need that kind of police presence in the polling station. One of the things that will scare the voters is the presence of the police. Even yourself, if you are to go and vote and you see such kind of the police in the polling station, some of the people will not vote. I believe that people are saying that this is a litmus test. You know, litmus is just used to test the acidity and basicity of a substance. So, but this test really, for us politicians, is really like a friendly match before real match begins. But the friendly matches are normally, they do not count a lot. But the Kenyans believe that the electioneering process, as soon as we conduct our election, people start the electioneering process.
All right.
We are a political nation, that everything we talk about is political. But you asked me about Kasipul Kabondo.
Let me just cut you short for a minute. We'll be getting back to you in just a minute. But let's cross over to Mbeere North and speak to... Oh, yes, I'm going to return, of course, to our reporter there, Edwin Bogwa, who is speaking to Madeira Member of Parliament, Eric Wamombi. Edwin, bring us up to speed on what's going on there.
Voting is still underway, and of course, much earlier we experienced some unrest, push and pull between members of UDA party and the DP party. Of course, the agents and some all manner of accusations were all brought up as the DP party accused the UDA members of bribery, and of course, which led to one of the members of one of their agents, that is Chinga Ward, member of County Assembly, Kiroga Dhuku, being thrown away, of course, by donning party colors, which are against the law. Now I'll be joined by Madeira Member of Parliament, that is Eric Wamombi. Of course, Mheshimiwa, welcome to K24. We are live, of course. You are a member of Madeira, Member of Parliament from Nyeri County, and what interest do you have in Mbeere North today?
Thank you very much. I am here in Siakago, Mbeere North, just to follow the election process. And as you can see, the voters have turned out and the election process is seamless. The voters are coming in large numbers. I found Justin Muturi outside here trying to sell fears to the voters and blocking the gate. And I had to make sure that he leaves from this polling station because he's not allowed to intimidate voters. He tried to come here to intimidate voters, blocking the gate with his goons. And I have made sure that he leaves from this polling station, and we are not going to allow anyone to disrupt the voting process in this constituency, because we are all, as Kenyans, we have all committed to keep peace in this country, and Mbeere North is part of this country. So we are here to make sure that the voting process is seamless. We are not here to cause chaos. We are not here to bribe voters. There was a campaign period set out in the Constitution. That period ended, and now we are here just to make sure all of us that there is peace, voters are not being intimidated. And as you saw, Justin Muturi had to leave, and I'm going to follow him the whole day where he goes because he has committed. They know they have lost, now they have committed to cause chaos and to intimidate voters. I want to tell you, Justin Muturi, I may have come from Madeira and you are from Mbeere North, but you are not going to intimidate voters from Mbeere North. You don't have that room to intimidate voters in Mbeere North. So our responsibility as leaders is to make sure that voters have access to polling stations, because there are plans prior to cause chaos, to cause fear, so that voters don't come out to vote. But now everything is seamless. Voters are voting, and we wish that there is going to be peace throughout the day.
Of course, Mheshimiwa, IEBC and of course the police officers or security forces are mandated to maintain law and order during this period, during this exercise, especially at the police stations. Why do you insist that you as leaders, you are here to maintain order?
Because peacekeeping is a responsibility of every Kenyan. You know, police officers alone cannot make it to keep and make peace. It is a responsibility of every Kenyan to make sure that where they are, there is peace. So if myself as Eric Wamombi, I don't make sure there is peace, then the entire country is going to be in a very precarious situation. So I urge all Mbeere North to preach peace, keep peace and maintain peace. The police officers are just here to help, but it's the first responsibility of making peace starts with the people of Mbeere and the people of this country.
And of course, as you are entering this particular place, one of your agents, that is Chinga Ward member of County Assembly, Kiroga Dhuku, was sent out because of donning party colors, which is against the law. Maybe as a member of your party, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, we talked to Mheshimiwa Kiroga Dhuku. He was donning a yellow jersey, which is color to our UDA party. I'm a UDA member. But as you can see, I'm not donning yellow. So we just talked to him, go change, then come back because he's our agent in this polling station, and he's obliged. Justin Muturi just wanted to create a show in this polling station so that he can scare voters. But Kiroga Dhuku obliged. He went and changed, and he's back to his place, and that issue is now sorted out.
That being against the law, it was up to the IEBC officials maybe to send him out to go and change. Maybe are you concerned about what they are doing now, bearing in mind that they allowed him in and they could not send him out?
He had just come in. The process had not started, so he just came in, and there was concerns that he was donning a yellow jersey, and everybody agreed that he needs to go and change. The polling clerk agreed that he needs to go out and change. He obliged. He went and changed, and now he's back in the polling station.
And of course, lastly and briefly, your call to leaders across Mbeere North constituency who are here for the by-election.
One clarion call: let's preach peace. Let's keep peace. This election is going to happen today only, but it is our responsibility to keep peace throughout the year, throughout this period, to 2027. To all leaders from this region, let's preach peace, because elections comes and go. But this country is bigger than anyone else.
Thank you very much, Mobi. As a member of parliament for Madeira, Eric Wamombi has stated it clearly. He has called on for leaders across all political divide to maintain peace and order. We're still pitching camp here to follow more developments from several, almost all polling stations in this particular area. Back to you, Mombi.
Thank you so much, Edwin, for that report or that update in Mbeere North, where elections or by-elections are taking place. Just speaking to Madeira Member of Parliament Eric Wamombi there, asante sana. And there's something we were talking about, and Edwin has mentioned it, Mheshimiwa, Member of Parliament for Kibra, IEBC being under scrutiny in terms of how they're handling the issues that are coming up, the violence that are coming up, some of the agents contravening, the law and the constitution. And you're also keeping a close eye in Kasipul. You were just explaining that before we crossed over to Mbeere North.
I think the IBC, they need to use this electioneering process to show Kenyans that they can bite, to show Kenyans they can conduct peaceful elections, and also to build confidence in Kenyans that they have the muscle to carry out these elections. I have just seen that we have some violence in Kasipul, and I've seen one of the elected members who has been attacked, and he is one of the senior members. He is also the speaker's panel and most vocal member of ODM in Southern Nyanza, that is Kaluma. And we cannot allow that. We cannot allow such acts of barbarism, acts of hooliganism, acts of that level to get into the minds of Kenyans that during elections we must have violence. We must condemn this with the strongest stamp possible, and IEBC must take action. If there are candidates who are involved, then they must be disqualified. There are no other ways that we need to do this. And I think in Kasipul, basically that is an ODM zone.
Right.
Since all the elections, it is an opposition zone, and ODM has won that seat throughout. And members there are basically ODM. Even Otete,
yes.
He is an ODM member. He only decided to go to independent after the son of the late Ngondowere was pronounced as the candidate.
Okay, and as you continue, just live pictures coming in, Mheshimiwa. We have the candidate for UDA party, Leonard Wamudende there, accompanied by Public Service CS, Geoffrey Ruku. He is awaiting to vote there in Mbeere North. The candidate for UDA party, Leonard Wamudende there, casting his vote, his biometrics being confirmed by IEBC. There he has been confirmed. Right, live pictures coming to you from Mbeere North. The candidate for UDA, Leonard Wamudende, accompanied by Public Service Geoffrey Ruku there, voting. And as that is happening, let's just cross over to Mombasa, where the governor for Mombasa, Abdul Somad Nasir, is speaking. Let's cross over there and hear what he has to say. As the by-elections are also taking place there in Magarini, let's cross over there and listen to what's going on.
Hadi kufikia sasa mnaapa kuzungumzia la uchaguzi huu?
Sijafahamu vipi?
Hadi kufikia sasa mnaapa kuzungumzia kuhusu uchaguzi huu, uko salama, unaendelea vizuri, ama mna mapendekezo yenu ambayo wangependa kuzingatia?
Baada ya kila jisaji moja tunapata report. Kama nilivyokuambia, report ya mwisho ilikuwa ni saa 4:14. Na vituo 7. Baadhi ya sehemu nyingine kulikuwa kuna rapsha, lakini hatuwezi kuliita ni rapsha. Hili ni lile ambalo kwamba tunaliita harara za siasa. Unajua pia ukifika pahali uwe hakuna jambo lolote, pia sio zile harara za siasa, which is okay, it's normal.
Upinzani mkali unashuhudia kwa sasa, kura zimeanza. Upinzani mkali kati ya ODM, DCP, unazungumzaje swala hili?
Unajua sasa unaniambia mimi nifananishe na mchicha na mbuyu. Boniface, surely I think it will be a very unfair statement. Sijui wewe unaonaje? Wewe ndio umezunguka katika vituo, unaonaje?
Tusubiri basi IBC itaweza kuamua. Asante sana gavana wa kaunti ya Mombasa, ambaye pia ni naibu kinara wa chama cha ODM, ambaye tayari basi yupo katika maeneo haya tayari kuweza kuhakikisha basi anasimamia uchaguzi huo na tabia kila mahali kuweza kuangalia basi wapo mgombea kiti wa kiti hichi ambaye kupitia chama cha ODM ambaye si mwingine bali ni Harry Kombe, huenda apata ushindi, lakini yote tisa ni kusubiri kuona hali halisi itakuwaje. Kutoka eneo hili la Magarini, jina langu naitwa Boniface Msangi, kwako studio.
All right, our reporter there, Msangi in Magarini, Mombasa County, just talking to the governor, Abdul Somad Nasir, on the situation as by-elections take place there in Magarini. And of course, they are taking place in Mbeere North. We have Kasipul, we have Malava, and other 2 areas where these by-elections are going on. We are keeping a close eye on all the leaders that are going to be present. Of course, we've just seen that the UDA party candidate, Leonard Wamudende, has just voted, accompanied by Public Service CS, Geoffrey Ruku there. We will be crossing over in different regions to just see how the process is going on. Of course, there have been reports of violence in various places. Unconfirmed reports of videos circulating show Homa Bay Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma has been injured. We are yet to confirm those reports. We will be giving them to you once we confirm those details. Let's get back here. And of course, I'm sorry you've been interrupted a few times while trying to make a point about Kasipul. Continue. Carry on.
To keep it, you know me, I'm ODM, and ODM dam, the real ODM. So what we are saying is that in this country, sometimes certain parties, they are branded in each region. Some parties are regionally based, that this party survives in this region.
Right.
But the only party that commands the majority of Kenyans everywhere in this country is Orange Democratic Movement. Party with a foundation, party with a structure, and party which has existed for more than 20 years. Now, when we talk of Kasipul, I am almost sure that the ODM candidate will emerge the winner because of the policies and how that party has been performing in that region. I am not sure of Malava. Malava, the late Ijendi, was elected on ANC party.
Right.
It was not ODM, it was not UDA. And therefore, it is open to any other candidate because now ANC has been merged with UDA. So ANC has no candidate in that region. And that is why you can see that there's a lot of interest. We are not saying that maybe UDA, DAP will emerge, but there's a lot of competition. The competition has been very, very stiff. And Pakanyo, contested the last election.
Right.
And he was second in the last election. But politics, the dynamics of politics, the politics can change within a day or two. The kind of supporters that he had at that time, not necessarily will be his at this time, because of the dynamics of the politics in this country, and also the interests and how he has conducted himself since that time up to now. It is 3 years, almost 4 years. So I think by the end of the day, we are just waiting to see what will determine the results of this election is how independent the IBC is going to be today. They must not allow any rigging to take place. They must not allow the interference by the goons. They must not allow the interference by us as politicians. They must allow the free flow of democratic rights of people in this country to be exercised by a way of voting to a candidate of their choice.
Right.
This is what nurtures democracy in democratic nations like Kenya. I think we looking at the states surrounding Kenya, we are an island of peace. We are the most democratic country, almost in the world. I have looked at Senegal, you have seen what happened. I don't want to talk about our neighbors, because good neighborliness is...
All right, let's now cross over once again to Mbeere North, and where UDA candidate Leonard Mamudenda is addressing after casting his ballot.
Goons. Like for us, we don't even have security, you can see. There is no point. So when people walk with 20 guns to a polling station, that tells you what they are trying to do. They expected our people to react. We did not react. They have walked away. And we are just telling them to wait, to be embarrassed this evening. Yeah, I can report that we are doing quite well. So we will visit a few polling stations, again, just to observe. Yeah, so
far so good. How did you observe the turnout?
It looks good because most of the people we walked actually, and most of the people we met along the way have already voted. The crowd here, which was attracted by security, the insecurity that was brought about by the presence of one JB Muturi, they came when they thought my win is, under threat. They didn't even come. And when they have seen me, they are very happy. Of course, they have been told I'm not a registered voter. My wife is not a registered voter. There are some people at home who have told me, we will vote after you vote. So I'm telling the people at home, come out. I have voted. Those who are just fallacies by cowards who have no agenda to sell to Mbeere people, Mbeere North people. So please come out and vote. Umai mukadhurane.
Thank you. Mwanzo kulikuwa na tetesi kwamba kuna baadhi ya maafisa wa chama cha UDA ambao wamekuwa na mavazi ya chama hapa katika hichi kituo. Unachukulia vipi swala hilo?
Sijampata yoyote hapa. Nimeangalia na sijaona yeyote, na nafikiri mtu akifanya makosa anaelezewa na anabadilisha, so sidhani kuna issue yoyote.
Tetesi za voter bribery, kuna watu kwamba kuna tetesi za watu kupongwa kabla ya kupiga kura.
Yes, hiyo inafanyika na opposition, hiyo nimesema. Kuna mahali wanajaribu kupatia watu 100, 200, na nitaitisha hiyo list, nitawapea nyinyi wenyewe, mtafanya uchunguzi. Sana sana inafanyika Ithurano ward, lakini wapiga kura wetu walishapiga kura, na wale wengi huko walikuwa wanangoja kuona nimepiga kura, na saa hii washaona nimepiga kura, watajitokeza, washafanya uamuzi. Kwa hivyo nasema tuko sawa. Jioni tutakuwa pamoja na tutasherehekea, kwa sababu tumesema mara mingi sio tu ati leo Muthende anachaguliwa. Wananchi wa Mbeere North wanapata kiongozi anayefaa kuwaongoza, kiongozi ambaye anaangalia maslahi ya wananchi, na wananchi wa Mbeere North wanataka uongozi bora na maendeleo. Hiyo tu. Yes.
What would be your message, because it seems there's a lot of tension and maybe what is that one message to your supporters and maybe the residents of Mbeere North at large?
Yeah, so I want to advise my supporters, stay put. As we have done our campaigns, we've never had a single incident of violence or fracas in our meetings. So I advise my supporters to maintain the calm. You know we have won. So the only people who can benefit from chaos is the opposition. So we have to deny them that by being calm, as we have always been, and as your leader has always been. I've been insulted the most. I have not answered back, and as you have always told me, I leave it to God. Nitasema kwa Kiswahili, wananchi na supporters wangu, tuendelee kudumisha amani, tuendelee tunajua tumeshinda mikutano zetu zote, hakuna hata siku moja kwa mkutano yote, na nyingi zimekuwa kubwa, mmejionea. Hakuna hata siku moja kumekuwa na tukio lolote ambalo.
All right, that is UDA candidate Leonard Wamuthende for the Member of Parliament seat in Mbeere North. Let's now cross over to Kasipul, where we have reports that Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma was attacked. The candidate for ODM in that seat, Kasipul, Boyd Were, is currently addressing the media. Let's hear what he's saying.
The way they are conducting the exercise.
The ABC is fine.
No, for the ABC, they are conducting the process very smoothly. Ballot boxes and the materials were distributed in time. So everything for the ABC, they are doing a good job. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes, so I want to encourage the people of Kasipul, please come out and vote. Our opponents know they have lost. What they want to do is to suppress people and stop them from coming out to vote. Aroko came in personally at Agoro Sare Primary, and by there I went to receive him. You media were here. I thought he was Boyd Were because I'm the chief agent here for our party, the ODM party, and you can see I'm accredited by IEBC. So I was to leave, but Honorable Boyd Were told me that he's coming here in 5 minutes. In those 5 minutes, I saw vehicles coming in, and by there I thought those were Honorable Boyd Were's vehicle. So the media were here. I went, we greeted one another, and he just told these people to deal with me immediately. The bad thing they have done is that on his instructions, they have taken the gun for my security, and it has been handed over to him before he left. So Aroko himself has the gun for my security. The other thing I want to say is that largely, and you've been here, the people of Kasipul are very peaceful people. These goons Aroko is working with are from Nairobi, and they're very dangerous people. And I'd alerted the CS to this. The CS spoke about it. We've even given their names. These are robbers and very dangerous people from Kibra, Mathare, Ruaraka, Kayole. There are some from Kisumu. There are some from Migori. So what has shocked me is that I've been attacked as police are watching. In fact, I was standing with the police officers. So I wanted to request that if there are instructions that the police connive and be complicit in chaos for whatever reason, we want to request the IG and the minister that the police need to be much more firm. I've not reacted, okay, because the intention of these people is to suppress voter turnout. So we want to encourage them, the people not to come. If there is any blood that will be spilled today, it is only my blood. And if it can bring peace to Kasipul, let it be. We are going to move around. We are going to be with the people. Let nobody be discouraged. You see, they have attacked me, but I'm still at Agoro Sari Primary. There is nothing much they will do. And I know they are cowards. That is why they are doing so. So let us encourage people to come out and vote. And so far, so good. Don't be discouraged. Because discouraging the voters is all they remain with. Even as we speak, our candidate is, at over 90%. So we are not worried. We are not worried. And that is why I want to request our people, don't fight back. I've seen our people are very annoyed. You've seen a number of them, coming in after hearing about the attack. And we want to discourage our people from that. Sit back. Please turn out and vote. Honorable Boyd Were will be elected and has been elected. I thank you. Yeah.
All right, we are coming to you live those are live pictures you just received from Kasipul, where Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma has been attacked. And of course, Boyd Were, who is the ODM contestant in the parliamentary seat, did address. And of course, we will be keeping a close eye on everything that will be taking place. Of course, how IEBC is handling this whole process, various incidences of violence being reported in various regions. Kadi, what do you make of all this, the violence that's being witnessed? I mean, we just discussed about, imagine all this happening right now. It's just a by-election. What's the situation going to be?
It casts a very unfortunate or something that should worry all of us, right. Because as we move towards 2027, which is now going to be a general election, and there's going to be a lot of, interest, and a lot is going to be at stake, then what are we talking about? Because if we cannot manage just these 22 general election, by-elections, then how do we manage the by-election, the main, the general election? So for me is, I believe by now, what needs to be happening is that the Cabinet Secretary for Security, for Interior, Mheshimiwa Murkomen, and all the other agencies, now they must swing to action. Because you see, this is being aired on live TV, and we can watch it. The people who are watching from their homes and even from the villages in those areas that are affected, they can see all this. And this might actually encourage more violence in various areas. So we expect, and personally I expect, that our security agencies now swing into action. Number two is actually a call to IEBC to quickly address the emerging issues, because the emerging issues are allegations of leaguing, voter bribery, as we have seen. I mean, what is IEBC doing about this? We cannot keep quiet and continue watching. And I ask myself, if a member of parliament can be disarmed and their firearm taken away from them, how about a common Mwananchi? How about Wanjiku? Right. We are really exposed, and we need to calm the situation right now. Now, I'm pretty excited, looking at Mbeere, because I come from Madeira constituency, and Mbeere is an area of interest for me, going by all the happenings and the campaigns that have been going on, especially the smear campaign on one Mudende. People have said he's not, we had said earlier that he's not a voter in the region. Yeah. And just seeing him come out with his ID and he's been verified, confirmed that he's a voter, is quite exciting. And therefore it comes, it throws us back, to really rethink the way we do our campaigns. We do our campaigns around personalities, insulting each other, lies, anger, like what you've been seeing happening in Mount Kenya region. And, we need to really correct from that. And next time when you're doing campaigns, let's stick to issues as opposed to issues of personalities and lies. And therefore, for me, that was a very, very important observation. Now, for Mheshimiwa Kaluma, who's been hurt, really, apology to him, because bloodshed is something that we don't need to see, just because someone is being voted in as a member of parliament or out. It's only one person who is going to become a member of parliament for these areas. Right. So killing, maiming, torturing, beating, it's really unnecessary. Yeah.
And Mr. Osido, we've seen really heavy, security personnel in various voting centers. And that begs the question, of course the United Opposition have said that, the personnel has been deployed to intimidate voters, from casting their ballot. So is the heavy security personnel really necessary according to you?
Of course, given the context of our country, the level of security that is deployed for elections is determined by a number of factors. And those factors border on many, many things, including the kind of intelligence and that is gathered by the security apparatus and also by the electoral management body that also has, units of engagement. Even within IEBC, they also have security committee or a security unit that works closely with our national security infrastructure. So the deployment of security becomes very critical, particularly given, the kind of tensions that have been reported during campaigns, the kind of narratives that have also been, generated during those particular campaigns. And because IEBC, as we have said, works with a number of stakeholders, including NCIC, the Commission on Integration and Cohesion. And these are people who we expect that should have deployed, officers to go and collect intelligence. And even IEBC, there are institutions like ours, County Governance Watch, that are accredited by IEBC in a number of, elections and even by elections. And so the pre-electoral activities become very critical in terms of determining the amount of security, even bordering also on the number of registered voters and the number of polling stations that each of these electoral units have. So that, for example, if you go to Kasipul and you are talking about over 70,000 registered voters, it will be very, very important that there is enough personnel for security to be able to guard that particular election. But as I finish, is also to understand that the level of security sometimes is misunderstood by interested parties. Like now what one candidate is saying, that these security officers will scare away people. Now that is a communication issue, and that is why I agree with Kathy that IEBC needs to really begin to communicate to people and say that, by the way, the police officers you are seeing are not supposed to make it hard for you to cast your vote. They are supposed to make the environment comfortable for you, and also to make it easy so that as a voter you feel secure, because it is this police officer that is going to protect you in the event that a goon or anything happens. It is them who are going to take charge.
All right, thank you so much. We continue to monitor everything that is going on in all the 15 wards, 6 constituencies, and of course 1 Senate seat is up for grabs in Baringo County. And of course we continue to keep a close eye in Mbeere North, Kasipul, Malava, Magarini, to just see how the process is taking place. We're going to be taking a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mbeere TV.
In an age of fleeting headlines, depth matters. PeopleDaily.digital carries forward a legacy of genuine journalism. We bring you not just the news, but the context,